That's pretty much the mandatory one. The other things, Janelle was just telling me she went to her travel appointment and they gave her a whole list of things from antidiarrheals to Z-Paks to typhoid vaccine. The real one that I would seriously recommend that you should definitely get is an anti-malarial, because your American blood has never been exposed to malaria. It's kind of like, you know, getting COVID for the first time. Who knows? And you just don't know. It's, you know, I've met 100 people that go and nobody gets malaria. And then, you know, I hear a story of someone gets malaria. So there's two types of pills that you can get. The one that you take, doxycycline, is typically every day. And as Janelle was telling me, the doctor was saying, oh, it'll clear up your skin. Janelle doesn't even have any skin problems, but there are benefits to it. Just TMI, I find it makes my stomach a little queasy. And I can't tell if it's because I'm in Ghana or this. So I tend to take the Malarone, which is a once a week one. But the doctors also say that gives you crazy dreams and nightmares. That works for me. So just as long as you have whatever your doctor recommends and start taking it as needed.
What were those other optional ones? You said anti-diarrheal, anti-malaria. You said one other one that Janelle got that was like.
She also prescribed a full Z-Pak, like a azithromycin, like a 5-day, you know, when you are really sick and they give you that. That's a lot, but if your doctor is going to give it, I would just take the free little prescription and put it, you know, I'm a nurse, so I like having just handy drugs on hand.
Thank you.
And they don't usually give out Z-Paks, but if you you don't just take a Z-Pak for nothing, will be my second nursing spiel, but it's nice to have.
I got my travel vaccinations last week, and the travel clinic literally scared me into taking all of these extra vaccinations. I don't know if it's true or not, but like some of the extra ones, like a typhoid and like Hep A and polio booster. I don't even know. Like it was just they literally tried to scare you into taking all of these different like vaccinations, and I was just not prepared for that.
Well, it's a lot, and I feel like different travel places do different things. So like polio, I feel like I had I'm 45, I probably had it 50 years ago. So at least you know you're never going to get polio and walk with a limp. The typhoid, they give it to a lot of I feel like it goes for 20 years. I don't really feel like typhoid's a thing in Ghana.
So that you know that you can get typhoid in Ghana if you don't practice healthy sort of practices with eating food from like outside without warming it properly. So there is typhoid possibility, but the advice I would say is you shouldn't eat cold food. You should make sure you've eaten food that's warmed and heated thoroughly, and you shouldn't probably buy like you know cold foods that aren't heated on like the roadside.
Like I wouldn't eat roadside deviled eggs. Common sense.
So
I don't think
hot
you would
food
eat
that
any
is
deviled
heated,
egg.
that is heated through properly. I mean, you know, if for us, we live here, we eat a lot of things, but I would say like just don't eat any cold things from the roadside. Make sure that all the foods that you're eating are heated through properly, and I think that you'll be fine.
Right.
What about the water?
And like water.
So no drinking of any tap water, please. Bottled water only. Absolutely no to the tap water. So bottled water.
How do you feel
only.
about brushing your teeth? I typically keep a bottle of water at my. I forget because
some people do.
But I'm giving you the best practices. I tend to brush my teeth with water from the tap because I don't know.
You won't get typhoid from brushing your teeth with the tap water because it's also cleaned and processed, and it's fine. It's more I'd say drinking tap water from various different places, but from let's say your hotel with brushing your teeth, you're absolutely fine where you're staying, all the hotels that you're staying in, you'll be fine with that. If you do choose to use bottled water, then that's fine, but your tap water to brush your teeth is absolutely
fine. Okay, I think I'm going to start sharing screen through this. Can you guys see me? Beautiful thing that we've done. Okay, so this is the travel guide. You guys will absolutely get a copy of this. I think it's beautiful. These are some. I'm just going to scroll through. to get to the good stuff, and you will get a copy, but I want to just sort of run through here some of the good stuff. Some fun facts. I'll let you guys read all of this. I got not mad, but I was saying, you know, this is like very Ghanaian culture where oftentimes, depending on what day you're born, people will be named after a day of the week, and it's very tribe specific. So these are the tree ones. I'm a Ga, so my names are not on here and the spelling is off, but it's okay. It's fine. And I'm just really being funny about that. I'm not really being picky. So we talked about the travel documents on here. Travel insurance. Did anyone have questions with travel insurance? That was something that you had to sort of either go through a second party for, but I just wanted to raise a hand and see if anyone had any questions on that right now. Nothing. Okay. And you can just interrupt me. I do want to ask about, I feel like sometimes people have questions about any other IDs. Typically, I've never been asked to even really bring IDs out very often, but I keep my passport on me or lock it in a safe. Let's talk about weather. So guys, Ghana is going to be hot. You might have, it's always hot and there's always a chance of those like sun quick showers. It's not a rainy season, so God willing, we won't have any problems with rain. But let's talk about things in terms of what to dress and what to wear. Let's start from the top bottom. Sunscreen, scrunching. We have to make sure our black don't crack. Bring your sunscreen, bring your mosquito repellents. It just also helps to keep the malaria bugs away. Nighttime is not so bad. I find the bugs and mosquitoes aren't bad, but you will get a couple bites and stuff. This is not the really heavy mosquito season. Things to wear. And this can be an open conversation. I typically like loose fitting stuff because I do feel like I sweat. It's going to be a bit humid. So I typically wear like long dresses, you know, a sarong, a t-shirt. I do wear shorts. Tank tops are totally fine. I don't know how to answer this. Let's maybe bring some of the en route team in there because I feel like do we have modesty concerns? Is anyone worried about that? I don't think people necessarily will wear a bikini top out on the streets. But that just could be Ghanaian culture. No one's gonna, I'm just being very, very frank. No one's gonna throw a rock at you or anything like that. But Val, you can maybe speak on that a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think that Ghana is becoming a little bit more and more accepting of Western cultures and things like that. But I always like to make sure that I share information and educate people on the culture here, because I think it's important to just be respectful of the different cultures in different destinations. And so you're right, in Ghana, people are fairly modest, but there isn't any sort of situation where anyone's gonna look at you sideways if you wear something short or a crop top or like crop pants or shorts or stuff like that. No one's gonna make you feel uncomfortable.
Like as the Jamaicans say, like a bati rider short.
Bati, no, I mean one of the bati riders where your butt is like hanging out underneath. Is that like what you mean?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I mean, on the road walking, I would say that you would definitely get people really staring at you a lot, like staring at you and really looking at you funny. And it might make you feel uncomfortable. I would say at the beach, that's absolutely fine.
Totally.
Maybe even in the club, but not on the streets. I would say, I would say definitely just comfortable clothing, and yeah. So if we were perhaps visiting a mosque or something like that, you probably have to cover up a lot more, but that's not in our itinerary. And basically everywhere that we will be going, there isn't any sort of specific requirement for like full covering or anything like that. Just comfortable clothes is absolutely fine, and just mindful of the culture, because people will stare at you if you wear like super skimpy things, is basically like just to be aware of, I would say. But as long as you're comfortable, that's what matters.
Sandals, flip-flops, I wear them all day long. Any of our excursions, how do you feel about when we go to Cape Coast at the castles? I still wear sandals. Do you recommend running shoes or?
I would definitely say sandals or trainers, because they'll be like walking. The tour is about an hour and a half, walking around the castle and the grounds. So whatever you feel comfortable in. It is quite hot, and it's a lot of the grounds are outside. There are obviously some internal parts of it. So sandals is really good to just have airy air on your feet. Yeah, and I mean, it would be amazing if we could have like an all white sort of thing going to the castle. So we could do like people wearing white to the castle, if that's something that we can put forward, and if everyone's comfortable with that, I would definitely make that suggestion.
That's good for me. I did not know we were going to do that, but I love that idea. Is everyone okay with that? Okay, all white, and that can be all white anything.
I love a theme.
We do love a theme, and I'm trying to be as low theme as possible, but I know you guys come correct with your team, and that can be anything: linen, dress, this, shorts, t-shirt. It's all good.
Linen is really good. Linen is nice and breathable for Ghana, I would say.
One thing I will say about suitcases. So as part of our trip, and we'll go through the itinerary, we are traveling. So, you know, we're going to be in one hotel when we arrive. We'll be in Accra, City Life. And then we're going to go up to Cape Coast in the slave castles, where we're saying we're going to have a white, that'll be really beautiful. And then we're going to spend, instead of traveling all the way back to the city, a day at the beach. So please bring your beach outfit, and stuff for that. Okay. And then we'll come back.
I would say trainers as well, because we're doing, Fafa, correct me if I'm wrong, they're doing Kakum the next day in the morning before they head back. Yes. So trainers for Kakum, and then your beachwear for Cape Coast, and maybe some sarongs for the evening, because we'll have a bonfire just to cover up because it gets a bit breezy. So yes.
But I wanted you guys to be able to dip your toes into the African Sea. That's not really the right word, but you know what I mean. All right, money. Let's talk about that. Okay. In every hotel that I've ever stayed in, I can put my US bank card into the machine and get out Ghana cash. There is an exchange rate. I don't know if I've never gotten Ghana cedis on the US side. If you go to the right bank, I'm sure you can, but I just sort of pay the price. And I don't think the exchange rate is too much. But you can also use debit at other places. For the small artisan places, like when we go to the art center, or if we're walking through the streets, you will need Ghana cedis. People would love to take your US dollars. They would love it. And they will not give you a good rate. So it's nice to just get some Ghana cedis as well. In certain restaurants that are not, let's say you went out on your own, there's like 1 or 2 lunches that might be on your own, and we can always talk about and recommend where you want to go. You can use your bank card and your debit card. Amex, no go. They rarely use Amex in Ghana, but like, let's say you were walking down Oxford Street, which is a cool little strip. There's a KFC there, and you just wanted a piece of chicken. You can use your bank card there. So it's quite, easy. And we can also arrange to, like, when we land, let's take a trip, let's get some money, we can go to the Forex. You do need your ID at the Forex.
All right, Tanya, still on money. So in Ghana, when you have larger bills like $100, you get a higher exchange rate, but the smaller bills like 50, 20, the exchange is not good. Yes. So you could use your Visa, MasterCard, your Chase card.
Or cash.
To withdraw money from the ATM.
So Fafa made a great point. I typically go to the bank before and come and get like 100, you know, however much you want to travel with. But if you have $100 bill that you bring from home and you go to the Forex and exchange it cash, which we can make, sometimes, I don't know if the Movenpick, I think the Movenpick has a Forex in it, I'm not sure. They give you a better exchange rate. So it's nice if you have larger US dollars. Oftentimes when people travel to foreign countries, they say, oh, should I bring $1 bills and stuff? You can give to people on the street. It's hard for people to make those tiny little exchanges. So if you do want to bring something to give away to kids on the street, it's probably easier in Ghana cedis. So you'll get change for Ghana cedis very easy. Okay, so let's take this opportunity to quickly go through the day one. And if I'm going in too much detail and this is driving you guys crazy, you can just tell me to speed up, but I want to give you all the information. So arrivals are staggered. Some people are coming in days before. I'll reiterate, if you are, make sure you reach out to the team, and they know your arrival dates at the airport. We'll still pick you up. we can arrange for extensions or hotel things. So know that you will be met and greeted at the airport and transferred to the Movenpick Hotel. I love the Movenpick Hotel. You guys, we're going to have a great time there. And our first day, which is the 2nd, so I hope you're arriving in time for this. It is the welcome dinner celebration. We're going to be at Treehouse, one of my favorite restaurants. The food is so great. And it's in the middle of Accra. It typically will have a cultural performance. We can go out if we want. We can wander. You can go home if you're tired. And we can sort of play that by ear. I'm trying not to too overschedule us, but we can see how that goes. Any questions? If you do have questions, I can't really see, so just unmic and talk over me. Day 2, we're going to get up. We're going for a cultural immersion. So buses will take us. We're going to a really cool like batik printing class. We're going to make our own cloth. We're going to talk about local languages. We're going to look at some traditional cooking methods. We're going to have like a traditional lunch. And we'll have our first author book salon. Very, very excited about this. This is with Domilar. The dinner we're having is great. This I'm just letting you guys know, because I was very conscious of the fact that I'm going back to Ghana and I didn't want us to come in as some elitist people. I have actually opened it up to locals to come. So we'll be having an author dinner. If locals want to buy into the author dinner, that's possible as well. And then there's also just a ticketed price. So in the past in London, it was just us, but that didn't feel right for me. I didn't want to like be able to bring these authors and say like, you know, Ghanaians can't come. So we'll see. It might open up a little bit and there might be other people there, but the structure and conversation will be the same. Now you guys will have already received Domilar's book, I believe, right, Chris?
Yep, I've already sent one earlier, along with the first 50.
If you
Kobe Ben's first 50.
Okay. So if you haven't got that, please let me know. And I'm just trying to gauge whether or not we think if you guys will all have read it and we'll go full spoilers or not. We're a tight group, so you guys tell me what you want. In the past, we've read those books and sort of explored them before, and we can see what happens by that date. Either way, we know we'll have great conversation.
I have a random question. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. So I know how I am when I travel, but I know there's some nurses on the line. By day 2, the jet lag is going to start hitting me. Are there any suggestions of things that I can take, or you just got to ride it out?
You know, the jet lag, especially, it's going to be interesting for you, Chelsea, because you're coming from like 2 time zones away.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, I feel like the first days I'm okay. And then I get like that sleep. Like, it's hard for me to stay out late at night, to be honest. And so I try to revert to like, you know, the first day I'm like, go, go, go. And then the next day I'm like in the middle of the day. So it's, you know, I don't want us to have to push ourselves so that we're, you know, crazy. If you're like, I'm going to the bus to have a nap, I'm not going to be mad at you. A little power nap or some coffee or something.
Appreciate it. Someone said IV drips.
What is it?
Someone in the chat said, do they have IV drips? So, has anyone ever did that? Has that worked?
I've never done a Ghana IV drip.
So we have like, you know, Alka-Seltzer type, you know, refreshing like infusers and things like that you could take. I don't know about IV drips, but selling it in Ghana, no. If you want to bring some with you, what are they called? The little the sachets that you can have for energy and things like that. I think those would be good to pack, but I don't know about a drip. No.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, let me just hop in quickly. There actually are a few med spas that do the IV drips. So there's one that's Revive, while Supriya's med spa.
Yeah, the vitamin drip thing. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. They do
Yes.
like vitamin C infusions and things like that. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so they have like a Revive
Chelsea.
one, they have a Boost one. So we can share that as well. But like I said, full disclaimer, it's between you and them.
Yeah. I've never done one. I'm sure it's fine because there's a lot of nurses there.
Yeah.
But if we need to call them, we need to call them. And I feel like those are things that are like, would be mildly affordable, as opposed to I went to Vegas and they're like, it's $1,000. And I'd be like, okay, well, I guess I'll just have to drink bottled water. So I'm not sure, but we can definitely look into that.
Appreciate
then-
it. Thank you.
What
So-
about purchasing the book?
Great question. So book purchases, the authors are bringing books. So Damalar is bringing her book. She'll bring the latest book, which I don't know where it is right now. It's in my mess of stuff. Will actually have just come out the day before. So I said that it would be probably likely that you guys would want to support by the book. I believe it is it's $24, $25. And so she will bring that
So-
book.
US dollars?
Yes, US dollars. And when you guys meet this woman, she is such a force. It's funny because I want you guys to pay attention to the difference between like laid back Ghanaians and a really boisterous Nigerian. Like she is it. So she's super interesting. So she'll bring her book, and Kobe will have books as well. Kobe's book. Now I have this one. I have this. So this is Kobe's book. I'm trying to get it, you know, when you do this thing, it's really, I don't know where it thinks I am, but
We can only see the picture.
Oh, I can see it.
Okay.
that's Kobe's book. It's a really great book. This is going to be super interesting. I'm going to give you a bit of background on him. He's a first-time author. He is a gay Ghanaian man, which in Ghana is very interesting. But he wrote this book about some friends coming back to Ghana for the year of return. So it's a really good, it's a really good book. I think we'll really enjoy it, have great conversation with him. And, you know, Damalar is the author of Nearly All the Men in Lagos Are Mad, which was a huge hit on Book Talk. And her new book is just coming out. This was a collection of short stories, and the new book that you guys have in PDF form will have launched the day before. So I'm really excited about that.
So none of are these first
So can you
50 that we
hold
have
up
to
the
read?
second?
I don't have her Bum Bum book. The Bum Bum book is the one that's really coming out. I don't know where it is. I think it's still in my luggage. I brought it with me. This one, let me find out if we can get you the first 50 for this as I try to read it. Guys, this is
What
silly.
is that?
Oh.
Second.
Sword to sword.
Can you see it now?
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes,
this is
we-
the one that already came out. Chris, can we
Okay.
ask if we can get the first 50 for Nearly All the Men in Lagos Are Mad? It's a collection of stories, so we can probably share that as well. And
Sure.
then the Kobe Ben Bon, we're doing the first 50 for this. But I already know that you have the full length version of Damalar's book. So we can do a poll to see if everyone's read it by then, but I also don't want to stress people out. You know, normally I feel like we're a very, you know, we do as we're told in this group. So when people say we're reading a whole book, we read a whole book. But like, because we have 20 days away, let's maybe send a poll to be like, who's read it, who's not, and we'll go from there. Either way, we're going to have great conversations.
It's a long flight.
Yes, it is a long flight. Okay, so let me bring us back to, and I'm trying to get us out of here as quick as possible. So I'm gonna move faster. The next day we're at Cape Coast. We decided we're gonna wear white for. This will be a transcendent day. That's all I'm gonna say. I think it's a heavy day, but it is really, yeah. Then we'll travel to the beach resort. We'll have lunch. We'll hang out at the beach. We'll relax. We'll literally decompress all our thoughts. Maybe, you know, have some cocktails. Then we'll go get on the bus the next day. We'll do a canopy walk in the rainforest. I don't know if anyone's afraid of heights, but factor that into that day. You can choose to opt out or not, but it's a beautiful rainforest. And we'll go back to Accra. And then the last day is going to be amazing. If you want to choose to get up, we can do morning yoga and Pilates. We'll do the give back session and an author salon. So give back session, in Friday's email, if not Friday, it'll be the Monday's email. Basically, we're going to a school. We know the school. It's run by friends of ours. We're going to pair off and be able to read with different groups. If you have some books, please bring books. In the next week, we are going to send out emails to my socials and asking people if they would like to donate books or donate and ship Amazon books so that we can send more books with us. I think now's a great time because we've had a lot of publicity. So we'll be able to bring as many books as we can. I'll ship them to me and I'll put them in my 3rd suitcase, and we'll try and bring as many books as possible. But if you have some books, that would be great. The last author dinner salon is with Kobe Benbon. And then the next day, it's just errands. We can tell you, you know, if there's other places you want to travel to, if you want to get more shopping in, everything. The one thing I didn't see on here, oh yeah, is the markets. So we're going to the markets on this day 3. Day 3 is going to be a great day, you guys. We're going to get all the culture. This I'm going to send to you. We talked about a lot.
Chelsea has been practicing her dance moves.
Good girl, because
I was looking at some Detty December videos because I didn't know they were turning up every
Oh, yeah.
December. So
you
yeah.
have to party. You can party till 7 in the morning.
Rashawn, Chelsea does not need to practice. She is a celebrity dancer.
I
Like,
don't
she
know
looks at it
how
once
they
and
get
she got
down.
it.
You
We
know,
need
I
practice.
Big facts.
Practice.
No
need to
lies
learn.
detected.
I love it. I do hope we get to go out at least to the club. Travel adapters, you definitely will need a travel plug adapter for Ghana, Europe. It's not the same. Ghana is safe. You can take Uber there. I take Uber. I just tell people where I'm going or whatever. I will say, if you do plan to take Uber, have cash, because although it says it will pick you up with your Uber account linked, oftentimes, and they're not trying to scam you, but it doesn't get to them sometimes. So they'll say, Madame, could you pay cash? And it's like 20 Ghana cedis, which is honestly like $2, guys. Give them their $2 and pay cash. Even if I would say, even if it's going to charge you in US and it's $22 US, give them the $20. You know, the 20 Ghana cedis. That's what they're going to ask you for, not US dollars. They're just, and it just happens. So just have cash just in case. What else? Ghana is really safe. I mean, I doubt you'll be wandering the streets by yourself anyways, because you probably wouldn't do that in a lot of places. And that's it. There's some recommendations in here, but I'm going to stop the screen share because you're going to get all of this. And I just want to see if there's any other questions that you guys have right now while we're on the chat.
Yeah, I have a quick question about the books we want to donate. It's going to the school. I put it in the chat, but I just want to make sure I had the age range, the age range right. I don't want to bring, any smut.
So the kids are from 3 to 15.
Okay, 3 to 15.
And I would say don't bring any smut. I mean, our smut is different than their smut. Like, some of the schools are a little religious based or whatever, but not as smutty.
Right, like I don't want to bring like My Kennedy Ryan or something like that when it's just like 3-year-old. You know what I mean? So
girl, it would go viral. I mean, someone will read that book. Let me tell you, that book will get passed around. Maybe not in the school, but it definitely would.
Well, and I'll say like a lot of books, especially I think with the culture and customs in the young adult and like middle eighth grade book in America has a lot of LGBTQIA theme trends, and I'm okay with that, but I know like for culturally we may want to be cautious.
Yes,
so like
good point.
There's this beautiful book called like Black Boy Joy, and it has this beautiful black boy on the cover. But the book, like 2 of the 3 stories are about Black boys identifying as. So please don't cut this from the YouTube, because I love that author. So I don't want him to think I'm like saying his book, but just be mindful of like reading and making sure like the books are appropriate, because I don't want to go against their customs and they may have to throw them away or something like that.
Yes,
that's true. I would agree with that. But I really would love to bring, if everyone can bring a couple books, that would be great. And, they will all get read and loved on over and over again. For sure.
What about supplies for the school? Sometimes those are needed.
They will take anything. So, we focus on books, but if you bring anything for the school, they will certainly do it. If you had some clothes, like it, if you've got room in your suitcase, throw some stuff in, someone will love it. Absolutely. What else? I guess that's everything. I just want to be added to the chat.
I'm
Well,
not sure how
I think-
early people are going, but I feel like a few of us are on the same flight coming in, that Delta
I was just
from
gonna
New York.
ask if anybody's leaving out of New York.
I think
Yeah,
we should
a
make
lot
a
of
party
us-
on the plane.
That JFK flight. Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of us
Yeah.
are flying to
Mhm.
JFK.
What day
connecting
is that?
with
Does everyone
the
leave the
third.
first? Land is
On
the
the
second?
first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Hope you guys find each other first, for sure, for sure.
I think majority of the group is arriving at 7 a.m. But
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Well,
great.
Nate says, please bring liquid IVs with you, but I just want to caution, don't bring it through your check bag, and don't bring any of your mosquito repellent through the check bag, because
Oh,
there
yeah,
was
they'll
a
take that.
TSA just trying to get on the plane in America. So just make sure you check all your liquid stuff, because I've traveled like globally before, and people have to throw all their expensive mosquito repellent stuff
Oh,
away
I'd be
because
sad.
it's over 3 ounces. So
Our schedule is some of the